Hey YouTube, Tcully back again. We are here going over into our second episode of our Total War playthrough, playing as Sparta, where we left off, just so that we chat and you guys now coming into the video are understanding on where we're at. It is a cloudy day here in Greece, but let's go ahead and zoom in. We are able to double our land mass last episode. We were able to take Larissa. We worked out a defensive alliance with Athens. We were betrayed by Macedon, and we are at war with them currently, as well as we're at war with Apollonia, or Epirus is the state that we're after. We are currently raising troops in Sparta. We have our crown prince building an army there, and we're kind of just hoping to be able to play into their offensive campaigns. We've got a couple of choke points held where we are trying to build a little bit of wealth through ransoms at the moment. We are currently researching. We're just about to have our third level skirmisher camps. Once we get those finished, we're going to go ahead and move over to get some civil cervix stuff done. Just so that way we can start making a little bit more money on our agricultural and trade. So, we're going to go ahead and jump in here. And, okay, so what do we want to do? So, we've got these guys here. We've got a group of Spartan hoplites that are looking a little rough. Otherwise, we got pikemen up the wazoo. You're recruiting, or you're building a pro-localized camp to be able to give us some archers and peltasts. That is great. What can we recruit here? We can recruit pikemen if needed, but we're going to go ahead and let it rip. We'll go ahead and see the next turn. Get our king here upgraded with authority, just because he's sitting a little low on that. Yeah, no, what's up, Amelia? Welcome to stream. I see you there. Hold on one second, chat. Let me go ahead and switch here. And there we go. No, I do not. So, anyways, we're going to be jumping back into the game here. We're going to go ahead and turn, move on to... Good. They're going to attack us again. So that gives us another opportunity to go ahead and set up a battle here. Again, it's going to be heavily against us in favor, but we're going to utilize those checkpoints and go from there. So just got to deal with one thing real quick. There we go. That should fix that little graphical issue that we're having. Okay, so we're going to do the same strategy that we did last episode. Is we are going to rip and skip with some pikemen. Get those guys in a good position for defense. Again, I think what we're going to be looking at here is they're going to be coming in from this direction over yonder. So let's get these troops just dragged away from the wall, and we'll go ahead and say that I'm going to say that I have. We're going to set up that same hammer and anvil kind of style tactic. Get them into phalanx, get them into position. And Evelyn, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. All right. So we are going to go ahead set these guys up. And then Amelia, I will only say this at this moment. Go ahead and drop the logo. I'm not interested at this point in time. We've talked about that off stream, and if you are going to distract stream from what we're talking about here, we'll just have to time you out for a little bit. What's up, Evelyn? Doing pretty good. We're playing some Total War here. We're playing as Sparta. We're playing as a little bit of an underdog, so it's working out pretty well for us so far. We're going to keep going here. Right now, we're just preparing our defenses, getting ready for a pretty big fight. Again, Epirus is at our doorstep. We are... Hey, I appreciate it, Evelyn. I will go ahead and... Amelia, I will go ahead and deal with that after stream. I'll get to you around 8, 9 o'clock tonight. But, Evelyn, I appreciate the follow on Twitter. I'll give you a toss back there. Let's go ahead here. I want to probably... Well, actually, I don't know which direction they're coming from yet, so we got to play conservative here. We'll go ahead and get our guys set up in phalanx formation. We'll get our hoplites in position as well. Again, get them in phalanx formation. You are on the front line there. That is good. We'll set the general up in the front door, just in case if they do kind of decide to give us a... I will go ahead and get this so that way if they come through the front, we've got our strongest infantry there. But since we are in the same battle location as last time, I want to be able to kind of sort of predict here that they're going to come from the same direction as they did last time. We should have a couple minutes to react if need be. We're still going to set up our deployables here. Caltrips, very critical for anti-cavalry defense. And we'll go ahead and throw down a little bit of a barrier here, just to make it that much more difficult for them to get in front of our troops. So, nope, Amelia, I will go ahead and talk to you after stream. We'll get that conversation talked about there. Evelyn, I appreciate that. I'll go ahead and give you a follow on Twitter. I'll give you back, or throw you back there. Appreciate you guys all being here, watching me. I mean, it means the world to me, especially that with me being fairly new, been going at this now for about 6 months, and it's been a lot of fun. I've been enjoying being able to kind of share my gaming interests and things like that, as well as being able to kind of share a little bit of the goings on in my life, just like that owl story that I mentioned before we got into the game here. Let's go ahead, start battle. And yes, okay, so they are still coming from that same direction. Means their reinforcements are coming from the backside as well. So hopefully these guys work out in our favor. Here's our pikemen. We'll go ahead and take a look here. Packed in tight, hoplites in the front, pikemen in the back. Should be fairly successful. Just got our pikemen and other hoplites on the backside. We'll be able to move those over if need be. Like I said, a lot of troops. Hopefully we can just kind of pepper them down. And we'll go from there. Alright, we'll go ahead and speed her up a little bit. Let's see if they run their general right into our lines or not. I think the best option for our slingers... Oh good, they're able to get some eyes on. take one of them down already. We'll go ahead and play at double speed here. They're working on knocking down that barrier. The barrier, again, it's not going to last super long, but just gives them that another obstacle to run through. Oh.
The enemy general is dead.
That's a good move there. Enemy general going down means that we're going to have a morale advantage going forward. Of course, they've got a couple more general units coming in these other two armies. But again, I don't think they've got any heavy enough. They've got militia hoplites, which I think is their heaviest. Some pikemen. And what's these guys here? Another set of pikemen. Alright. Alright, I'm going to move my general back here. I don't think he needs to get picked off again like we did last episode when we fought this battle. It's one of those things where we've got the advantage in terms of territory, but it's one of those things too that if we can save some people, then that'll be ideal. They're trying to get into their phalanx formation. Doesn't look like they're going to be able to quite get their pikes down though. Again, good for us. What kind of sword? Oh, they brought in Illyrians. Some Baltic tribesmen they've brought in. Yeah, so essentially this is a real-time strategy game. So Total War. This is Rome II. This is their second iteration of the game. Essentially what this game is it's the idea of being able to conquer the world back in like Roman times. So this game is based, you start in 200 BC and you work your way up through like about 100 AD, and you're conquering the globe with the ancient styled armies. So you've got slingers, you've got archers. You don't have as much siege equipment that you see in like in the medieval era or even in the Renaissance, where you don't have guns, you don't have high skilled, high specialty armors. You've just got your basic man, your basic soldier, and you're using those strategies to be able to conquer Europe, North Africa, and the Middle East. And you're doing all of that in a turn-based style with real-time combat. So real-time combat comes in where you're constantly, if we're not in this fortification here, I'm actually going ahead and dealing with troop movements, troop positions, so that way I've got a front line that's going ahead and, soaking in most of the different damages, while I'm going ahead and taking my troops and trying to set up advantageous positions for us to be able to go ahead and win the victory. Essentially, like right here, again, what we're working with is we're creating a choke point. We're using an artificial fortification as a choke point, so that way, hey, these guys are attacking us with 5,000 troops. We have an army here of about 1,800. It's about a 4-to-1 odds, but because we're holding this choke point, we're going to be able to have an advantage because, they may have 3 times as many troops, but if they can only have the same amount of troops in the line as we've got in the line, we've got better trained troops, higher morale troops to be able to, to go after these guys. And essentially what we're doing here is we're playing the long game. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to have our opponents come at us knowing that we are a weaker foe. But then what we're doing by that is we're capturing their soldiers, as well as being able to, as well as a heroic victory. Good there. Again, we had 1,000 troops. They came in with almost 2,000. And we only had 41 losses, and they lost 800. So this is going to give us a little bit of gold, so that way we can build up our army, build up our economy. In this game, we have we have our own army. So we're playing as Sparta. We're playing as the Kingdom of Sparta. And we have multiple armies. We have multiple cities underneath our banner. So we've got Sparta, we've got Larissa. These are our two cities. We took Larissa from Epirus, and now we are in position here to be able to eventually take this city. However, this city has a fairly large garrison. Just looking at these rough numbers, they're looking at roughly 1,000 or so men, along with a couple armies of about 500 men each, and a navy of probably 100 or 200 men. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to, again, get our money up here. We've got our money, our incoming money, our food, and our surplus of food. Years 265 BC. So while we are both fighting these battles, we're also managing our empire. At this point, we're only a kingdom. We only have 2 cities. But we do have technological development that we can do as well. Meaning that we can go ahead here, and I know that, hey, we're only making 164 gold per turn. We're getting an army built up down here that's even going to eat into that number. So I need to get that number up. I need to get that number to be higher, so that way I can make sure that we can then capture these cities that we're just looking at right now, but also be able to capture the rest of the world. So again, for this campaign for stream, what we're looking at here is we're looking at a kind of a grander scale. So right, we've got our armies, we can upgrade our weapons, we can upgrade the types of troops. We're not necessarily worried about the individual troop, what he's carrying, but we're worried about how we can make those troops even better. So like we've got Parakoi leveled troops, which those are non-citizen Spartan infantrymen. Ideally, we want to work our way up to Spartan hoplites. In terms of the overall goal of this campaign for stream, we want to conquer all of Greece, either through direct combat or military alliances with Athens, for example, or with Kronos. We could also so our goal is to capture Illyria, Thracia, Asia, Benicia and Pontus, Italia, and Magna Grecia. If we can conquer all of those, I will consider this game a victory for our stream playthrough. If you guys are interested in still seeing us take over the whole map, we can do that. In terms of, Amelia, I know you're asking if I am a pro at this game or not. I would say I am not a pro. There's a lot. When it comes to gaming, and especially in modern gaming today, what I really look for is I look to be able to have an enjoyable experience. I want to be able to kind of build a narrative experience as I play my games. So I'm not going to be min-maxing. I'm not going to be doing every little thing that would give me the best outcome. I want to be able to leave a little bit up to chance and up to my skill in combat. When it comes to battles, like what we just saw in terms of that fortress, I would probably say I'm better than the average bear at the real-time combat. Real-time strategy is something that I've been playing for probably 20 years. I really got into the genre when I was 5 years old, whether that was with Civilization. Well, I guess that's turn-based, but with the games like Stronghold, Age of Mythology, Age of Empires, that's where I really got my start, and then kind of moved into the more 4X grand strategy games as I wanted to get more. Again, I wanted more narrative experience out of my games. I want to be able to kind of build my own headcanon of where I am going ahead, and I am, I'm the king. Like, right? I put it in my head. Hey, I'm the king of Sparta in this game, right? To be able to indulge your imagination in a healthy manner, I think this is why these kinds of games are a great outlet. At least for me, I get to pretend that I'm Sparta. I get to understand who based on our little relationships. And again, the game itself isn't super complex, right? we can go ahead, we'll come back into the game mode here, but we'll go to diplomacy. So we can go, like, just for an example here, we'll dive down a little rabbit hole of our story with Athens. So when we first joined this, when we started this game 10 turns ago, we had no relationships with Athens. But I know that as this in history, Athens and Sparta have been blood allies for the last 200, or the blood enemies for the last 200 years. Athens, after going and kicking Persia out of Greece, went ahead and took all of the city-states around the Aegean Sea for themselves, only for them to squander it and have them get lost to kingdoms like Macedon, to Pergamon, to these other states that are out there. Sparta, on the other hand, we focused on the land combat. We created leagues. We created an ability so that way we could have a strong, unified Greece, and Athens undermined that. However, now that Alexander the Great has come and gone, we have to kind of relook at the world in a different light. A single man came in at the age of 21 and conquered the entire world. Maybe that's something that we can do. However, at this point in time, is my house in this? No, it is not. So it's one of those things where if you're talking about a house in terms of like a clan or a family, yes. So if we go into here, we can actually go ahead and get down into dynastic lines and all that kind of stuff. Actually, speaking of which, we'll go ahead and have our prince go ahead and take a wife. So hopefully they can go ahead and start having kids. We also have a rival political party. However, with our victory successes, we really don't have to worry about them at the moment. They love us. Only problem is they want power. So as we conquer more, they might be able to go ahead and take a couple cities for themselves. However, we're going to make sure that we please them enough to be able to go ahead and keep them within our empire. But in terms of just going in, right? So as I was saying, right, we understand that the world can be taken over fairly easily. Alexander just did that less than a generation ago. However, his empire didn't last because he didn't have a proper family to take over and take the reins after he stepped away, or in this case, passed away. So we understand that we want to be able to create a large imperial hegemony. However, we know that maybe making some friends along the way is going to be more beneficial for Sparta than to outright just have enemies on all sides. So we went ahead, and after being betrayed by Macedon, throwing our treaty out the window and declaring war on us as we went to war with Epirus, Athens answered our call. They went to war with Epirus. They went to war with Macedon. We went ahead and negotiated a defense treaty between each other. So if either one of us is attacked, then we will come to each other's defenses. So we're going to keep a good relationship with Athens going forward. If they make mistakes against us, if they wrong us in any way, we will go ahead and meet them with Spartan might. But we've got more fish to fry in terms of Epirus and their last remaining city, Macedon, and their couple of city-states, and their large capital city that has a very lucrative port that gives us access to the Aegean and over into the Black Sea and the Caspian Seas. However, here in the which direction we're going? Over here in the west, we have Apollonia that opens up our markets to the Roman sphere of influence. And not only that, it also opens us up to new frontiers for new wars, right? Magna Grecia used to be a paradise of Greek colonies, now taken over by the Latins. We will go ahead and bring them back into the Greek fold under the banner of Sparta. So we will go ahead here and jump in back into the game here in terms of what we're doing next, right? I can talk about this all day. Helmet, I went ahead and we're repping the helmet on the chest today. So We might bring it back next episode, but today I had just moved. Like I said, I changed my background a little bit. I went ahead and moved some stuff around today, so just finished that up. The helmet's over there. We'll go ahead and bring that back in the next episode. But today, wanted to be able to. Actually, I was kind of running around a little bit before stream, but still wanted to be able to keep a schedule. So, and that's the biggest, right? I mean, the biggest thing for you guys is to be able to know when I'm live and that I'm live consistently at that time. So, I wanted to make sure that I was here. Wasn't able to do all the prep that I wanted to do. So, new setup in next stream. You would be correct. We're actually gonna get chroma keyed. We're gonna get a green screen set up here. Well, not a green screen because I like wearing green. So we'll get a blue screen set up here, right behind me here. And then that way I can actually be in the game. I can wear my different equipment, have my different costumes, and go from that here. Yes, no, you're right. No, we're working on it. We're upgrading stuff. Not spending any money, guys. I don't have any of that. But I am going ahead here, and I am working on at least improving the experience for you guys that are watching me. So, all right. But enough on that. You got a little bit of information on what's coming next for our stream on Thursday. But let's go ahead and get some battles going, huh? I like that idea. These guys still have one more turn. I think we're gonna. Do we encroach? I think we encroach. We're gonna go ahead and move up on Macedon here. We're just gonna move up a little bit. We're gonna give up our river, but we're still gonna go ahead and fortify. So again, right, we're looking at here on the map. But if you look up here on the map, guys, where I'm going to point, right, we're going to get this, I'm going to start working on this a little bit, right? Okay, so you see that red circle up there? That red circle essentially is our kind of our sphere of influence of our army, right? If they come into that circle, we'll be able to attack them. So they're not going to be able to run past us. Hopefully that means, right, okay, they got this mountain range here, so that means even if they came up the coast and landed, they would have to come all the way to Athens in order to get an army past us. And that would have to go over the sea, which Athens has a pretty decent-sized navy patrolling the waters there. So, all right. So we're going to go ahead and get back into it here. And, okay, he's there. We're going to leave him there. He's there. We got another upgrade. We'll give them formidable spearmen. And we will also go ahead and we'll go ahead and give him +2 authority when he's a general. Give him a little bit more power when he is on the campaign. So what we're going to do here is I want to really focus on profit generation. We're sitting at 174. It's going to drop a little bit more. That gives us inns, wine traders, emporiums, which is not bad. It gives us a library. This is the research tree. This increases our research speed and allows us to recruit dignitaries. No, we're gonna go for the wine trader, inns and emporiums. We're gonna go for the set prices research. Not allow you to cross. Yes, exactly. No, you're right there, Amelia. No, it allows me to not cross allows them to not cross the river in the slightest. So, no, the red circle is just the area of influence. Where my little guy's at is where the base is at. In terms of our actual cities, those are another line of defense. Our capital here is in Sparta, which gives us the ability to, operate, make new armies, send stuff out here. If we lose Sparta, we lose the game. And that's kind of just how it goes. So, we'll go ahead here And all right, so we are on the edge of their influence. I'm gonna let them just keep coming at us. I mean, it's gonna give our general even more stats. We'll bring these guys up to reinforce. What is Pella looking like? They've still got a lot of troops. They've got a pretty big navy. Can I assassinate? No, I cannot. Army sabotage. No, we're gonna have her. What can I do here? Steals food from the local region, adds it to your reserves, and possibly causing starvation in enemy lands. Let's do that. We could always use extra food. Okie dokie then. So we're gonna go ahead and see if they come at us. They want a peace treaty. I am not going to give them a peace treaty. They gotta come to the table with a little bit of money. Money. Okay. So, let me just check something here. I got a phone call. Just gotta let the person know. So we're good again. So we are. Oh, they brought their. Uh oh. Hold on. This is interesting. Okay, they brought their. Ooh. Okay. This is gonna make it a bit interesting. They brought their navy into this fight, which means they're going to have a bunch more range. And we don't have our fortifications. Okay, so we're going to need to hold high ground. We need to hold high ground. We're going to make it difficult for cavalry charges. So let's go ahead. Set them up in this manner. Get them into phalanx positions. And go from there. Okay, so I think what I want to do. Yeah, no, I think what I got to do here is I got to put the lower level hoplites in front of our pikemen, because you and you. Okay, so then I can go ahead and put my other pikemen. Oh, nope. Grab the wrong guys. Grab our other pikemen, put them here. Put our Spartans in our back line. They'll be able to deal with any charges. And again, just slingers down behind. My only concern is that with this new position, they're going to try some different reinforcement locations, which might mean we may have to retreat. But it's just, you got to know when to hold them. You got to know when to fold them. You got to know when to walk away. You got to know when to run. If you know that song, comment it down below in the YouTube video. However, okay, but anyways, we are going to set up our deployables now. And no, but you are correct on that. You are correct on that, chat. You are dead on with that. Okay, I'm gonna put these caltrips in the back line, just because I don't trust it. Brimstone's in the front. We'll put a barrier on this open side. We'll put a barrier in the back. And that's everything. All right.
Enemy reinforcements approaching.
Okay, so what do they got? Some javelin men, not a big deal. Thorough spears, medium melee, not too crazy, but that's what I was concerned about. Can we go ahead and withdraw? We can. We should. We should. Let's go ahead and withdraw.
The withdraw button causes a unit or ship to leave the battle by traveling toward the edge of the field by the shortest route. It can be called back at any stage before it leaves by issuing a move or attack order. At the double!
Yeah. It's just not a good position. With them bringing that navy in, moving us from our fortress, it is just not something that we want to deal with. So we will retreat and see if they pursue us from there. But they will lose out on their additional reinforcements. We probably could have stuck it out. We probably could have stuck it out, but I don't. Just with the amount of cavalry that they have, and their, yeah, just with the amount of cavalry they have, it was just gonna be difficult. And they do, again, they outnumber us about 2 to 1. So we will get these guys out of here, hopefully safely. Again, they're not charging, they're not running their horses right at us. But they are taking out a few of their troops. I think they just ran over my caltrips. They're about to right here. But yeah, it looks like we're going to be able to make a good escape. Not going to lose a single troop. I say that, and these slingers are going to get into range. The puppy is dreaming.
The enemy general is dead.
That's awesome. The fact that we're retreating right now and the enemy general killed himself on my caltrips is beautiful. Yep. Nope, we have to retreat. It's just what we had to do. Yeah, they lost 40 guys, including their general. I see that as a little bit of a win there, chat. I see that as a win. We're going to have to retreat. Yep. We lost 1 guy.
Retreat,
Yep.
men!
Full pullback. They're not going to come after us. We just got to make sure we position ourselves.
There is barely enough money in your treasury to cover costs. You can ensure your provinces are taxed effectively by ensuring their settlements are
Yeah,
upgraded
I'm not
to the
tax.
highest
I'm not raising
available
taxes.
levels.
I don't need. Yeah, because Sparta's not happy right now, so I'm not going to raise taxes at all. These guys are actually going to go ahead and force march up to the battlefront. I think we're going to go for Pella first. These guys, not a lot of troops. Not a lot of troops.
Ready for orders. Advance! Your next command.
Again, fortify. Should stop them from getting past us to Larissa. And again, even if they get past us, it's going to take them more than a single turn to get to Larissa. So, we'll go ahead and hold that there. Again, we didn't gain anything. Can we take some mercenaries? Not really. We're not going to be able to maintain the upkeep on them. So, we need to go ahead here and you're gonna move up there. Okay, so we were just gonna Run it out again. They should attack us. Yep, there's the attack. Okay, so they're bringing in one army. They're bringing in their garrison. And they're only bringing in one general. Alright. We've got some good amount of pikemen. We got a good amount of hoplites. We should be alright. We got a lot of missiles in this group. So, chat, what do you think? You think we're going to pull this one out or not? It will all depend on our pikemen. It really will. And they've got a few, looks like they've got a decent amount of pikemen coming in too, 4 units worth or so. But again, I think we should be able to have this, especially since we're in our fortification. We're going to fight this campaign a couple or just about 1,000 years in terms of military strategy in the future. Just meaning that we are going to have... We're essentially going to be acting on castle doctrine here, right? We're going to be setting up a fortification, defending from that fortification, and then going from, going from there. Where are they coming from? I've got reinforcements coming. Hell yeah. Okay, they're coming from the back. They're coming from the way back. Okay, I'm guessing that they're going to set up over here and attack there. So let's go ahead, move all of our troops. Let's just set them up back here. Let's go ahead and do pikes. Phalanx. Hold the line. We'll put the Spartan hoplites on the front here. Again, get you guys into phalanx. Is that you guys? Okay, we'll take a second squad of pikes. Kind of scissor them in as well. And then pikemen across the front here. And hoplites here. Pikemen. Same deal. Send them across the front. Get them as close to the wall. Get them in phalanx. Get them spears out. As what we're doing. And then go ahead here. Get our ranged units in good positions all around. Again, we don't have to really worry about overall positioning because we can always... We're going to have time to move. We're going to have time to react. Again, we're going to throw these guys across there. These guys across here. Barricades in the front. Barricades in the front. Bring them a little closer. And brimstone pits. We don't really have anything that can do a flaming shot. Can you do a flaming shot? Standard, skirmish, no. Again, brimstones aren't going to be doing too much for us here. No worries though. We're going to go ahead and let her rip. Okay, that's what I thought. So these guys are going to come in here, get choked up. Depends. Let's see where our... If we can get our reinforcements in, we can keep them hidden.
Reinforcements have arrived.
Okay, our reinforcements have arrived, which means they're over here. They're showing up in the woods. Perfect. Perfect. I need you guys to get and stay in the woods. Yep, stay in the woods. These guys are coming from the back side. So let's go ahead and move one set of pikemen over to this other side. Okay. Chat, I think we're going to have our work cut out for us here. But at least we are going to have some decent reinforcements. I think what we can actually do here... It's going to be tough. The call that I'm going back and forth between, just so that way I can verbalize and you guys know what's going on in my head. We'll pause for a moment. So, we've got this general. He's going to come in and he's going to charge in balls to the wall because he thinks he's got the advantage. These guys over here are going to be trickling in, working their way in, beating themselves against this pike wall. And of course, this is the one side that we didn't put any fucking defenses on. They're going to be coming in, trying to beat the crap out of these guys. I think what I want to do is we've got our prince that's here, as well as our 2 sets of Spartan. These guys are going inside the camp. Those guys are going inside the camp. The other pikemen, I think I'm going to line up in a formation to be able to kind of stretch this side of the fortification up here. And we'll stretch these guys out right here. Again, I think we want to delay this, though, just so these guys don't try to turn and attack our fresh troops. So let's let it play out a little bit. But yeah, I think I send the 3 hoplite units into the camp, reinforce the camp, and then maybe I can actually even bring out some other units and flank these guys. But the big thing is we need their cavalry to go down, and hopefully they do that here. It's gonna suck because we don't have caltrips, we don't have any of the more advantageous deployables on this side, but we do have good. Oh Jesus, we do have good. Okay, good. They're gonna be able to throw some slings in there. You guys throwing javelins? Yeah, I guess you're peltast, so that is what you do, isn't it? Okay. Here comes the cavalry. They're catching hands. Let them just munch. What is that? Tarantine cavalry, so they're throwing javelins from horseback. Ideally, our pikemen will eat a lot of those projectiles. Our guys are able to get projectiles in.
Double time. Missiles ready and waiting.
I think we're gonna go ahead here and do the same.
At the double.
I think we're gonna go ahead and do the same here.
Slingers.
Okay, their peltasts are pushing in. They're getting held in the choke. Yep, they're getting held in the choke, so they're gonna start getting the crap beat out of them. Hopefully they lose a general there. Let's go ahead, move these guys up. These are just their general. We want to keep them kind of relatively close. Not sure why my Proliculi is engaged like that. I didn't give him an order to.
One of our units has used all its ammunition.
That's fine. We'll back them up here shortly.
Orders understood.
Yep. Again, we want to kind of keep those guys within the area of effect of our pikes. Just giving us, again, that advantage where we're stacking bodies together, we're working together. Okay, you guys are losing decisively. Good. Very good. Because you guys are also, yeah, you guys are going against my hoplites, my Spartan hoplites, which are going to be really tough to fight. Alright, now it's time to get these guys on the move. It is time.
The enemy general is dead.
Enemy general down. They're in position. So let's go ahead. Get these guys moved up in one large group. Then get our pikemen to form in a line. Get these 3 to form up here. You guys form up behind them. Looks like the mob's getting chewed down. We got a couple of sets of those guys. I'm tempted to send. No, they're gonna get choked down anyways.
One of our units has used all its ammunition.
But this is good. This is really what I wanted, was for Pellis to send their garrison. Because what we should be able to do now is take our forces that are coming in and totally, absolutely wipe them out. And then we can go take the city with little resistance. We take that city, that's going to give us a huge amount of income. Really boost our economy. They're on the move. I think in the meantime, though, since they are focusing here, those Peltasts are on the run. Did we get their general?
The enemy general.
Yes, we did.
One of
Okay.
our units has used all its ammunition.
So let's... Yeah, no, this is... these guys are a little low. The pikemen can go. I will give them that.
Ready for orders. Ready. Understood. Tell us. Quick march. Orders. Double time.
Get the rest of our archers moved in. You guys are out of ammo. You're becoming cannon fodder. You guys are also out of ammo. You guys are becoming cannon fodder. We're going to just throw those guys at them to get the flanking bonus. Hopefully maybe get them to maybe trap them in a little bit. But also get a flanking bonus, demoralize them a bit more. Because really what we want is we need to kill as many, we need to get as many of them down as possible. We need to get, yeah, we do. That's just as simple as it is. Simple as it gets. Is we need to get those troops down. Get them heading in. Again, getting that flanking bonus, taking out more of them. Those guys just broke. So let's get these guys in a better position. And we are looking good. We're looking so good right now, chat. We are looking phenomenal. Like we're a professional army or something. It's crazy. Alright, now it's just kind of time to hammer and anvil it out. Get our pikemen in position so that way we can start getting their retreating troops. Because again, if we can, the more we can take out, because again, like, look, you've got 1,000 guys making a retreat.
Our
Good chase
general
those
is
guys.
under attack.
You guys fall further back. I don't need I don't want to lose Galenos. Galenos is the leader of our opposition party. We lose him, they get mad at us. We have rebellion. No. We're not dealing with that. But we will gladly take out their general. Cool. They're all breaking now. And this one we're actually going to let run a little bit longer. We're not going to jump right out of the battle. We're going to continue for a bit. Let them run onto our spears. Take out those Royal Palatas. Take out those mercenary hoplites. Troops didn't quite get there in time, but it's the thought that counts, ain't that right? What is it? Arius the Second, Acrotatus the Second. It's his first battle. He's a young noble. He will get his timing down better in time with experience. All right, let's get these guys, run the rest of the way down. Go ahead and break phalanx. Just get them. Just get them. But we will have 2 armies ready to go to attack Pellis. We should be able to take them and continue slogging our way out of Sparta to be able to take on the rest of Greece. It's coming along. It's coming along so well. All right, that is a heroic victory, chat. That is a phenomenal fight. Only lost 500 troops. They only left with 1,100 troops. Good stuff. Good stuff. Yep, Dunzo. Dead. Don't mind me, I'm just itching my bee sting. It is on fire. Okie dokie. So we wiped out all of their cavalry. We wiped out the better third of their infantry. We wiped out their entire second army. Okay, so let's release the captives. We'll get 1,400 gold. We've got Athens to support us. Okay. All right. We've got this battle. Okay. Let's fight it out. Let's fight it out. My arm is on fire. It's also swollen as shit. I got fat man hand. Okay. I think we're back to our regularly scheduled programming for this fight. So let's go ahead here. Set you up. Phalanx it up. We're going to need more hoplites. We are going to have to make an army back in Sparta just to funnel hoplites to the front line. And stretch it out a bit further. I don't want any guys clipping through. Lock those guys into a phalanx. Okay, pikemen. Boom. Lock it down. Another group of pikemen halfway back. Boom. Lock it down. Move you guys forward. Move you guys a wee bit forward. And additional hoplites. Alright, that's all 3 entrances blocked. Again, set up our slingers accordingly. Get our general in the back line. Don't need him catching any strays. We don't want him catching any strays. Alright, gonna go ahead, throw this across. Bring it back a little bit. There we go. Throw that across there. Hit it with a barrier. We're gonna throw caltrips here. And we'll throw a barrier back here. Just so that way we are maximizing or spreading out our deployables a little bit more, and then we'll just throw our brimstone out there as usual, out front of where we think they're coming from. Start the battle. Cool. All right. And then we'll actually probably take a little bit of learning that we took from that last fight and do a similar thing. We'll rush these 2 guys out and try to flank them in. Reinforcements coming from the rear. I have got to pee, so we are going to play this a little bit faster. The dog also wants to go for a wander, which means... I know, buddy. We'll probably have to take a wee 5-minute break. A wee 5-minute break. Yeah, bust through. Bust it down. Break it down, bust it down, break it down. Break it down, break it down. They're trying. They're trying. Already lost 30 guys. Some citizen cavalry coming in on either side. Get caltripped. And stacking bodies. Stacking bodies all day. Again, we just want them to get their cavalry in the hole. Then we'll swing out with the rest of our troops that are in the... are not being utilized at the moment. Holding firm, eager, winning current combat. Good to see, good to see. Enemy generals down. They're just coming at us with some mob. And they've got hoplites. They got a couple things of levy pikemen coming. Alright, we'll let the levy pikemen get in here. Let them get chewed up, and then we'll flank them. We'll flank them good. We'll flank them hard. Appreciate you guys making it for this far in the stream. Appreciate you guys watching. Okay. Come on now. Run it up. Run it up. Hit the wall. Retreat. Hit the wall. Retreat. Hit the wall. Retreat. Hit the wall. Retreat. Alright, there's the pikemen. And then we'll actually bring these guys around. Cool, that worked out in our favor. And let's go ahead and continue to take out their troops. Again, now we are going from a war of attrition. Well, actually, we're still fighting a war of attrition. We're very much fighting a war of an attrition still. We are just now instead focused more on total casualty loss than just farming them for captives. So Send our hoplites that are in here after him. I don't know where those guys are running to. I'm pretty sure I gave them an order to stand somewhere over there. But they're just going to finish off those mercenaries, and I think we'll call that good. Another heroic victory for Sparta. They're known for their, well, they're known for their tactics. They're known for being able to be the underdog and come out on top every time. That's what I like to see. Now, this army's still not big enough to probably take that city. No, I don't know, actually. We'll have to see. We'll have to see once the dust settles. We're going to have to enslave our captives here. Mainly because we don't want those troops going back to Epirus to continue the fight. We will focus on cavalry recruitment here. Dog needs to go the outside. We're not going to focus on that upgrade at the moment. But Athens, are you in position to help here? Maybe. Ooh, yes. Yes, they are. Okay. Acronatus, siege the city. No, we do not. Damn. We'll break the siege. We'll break the siege. We'll actually go ahead here. We'll merge our units. We'll break formation. Acronatus, you cannot fortify at this point. So we will go ahead and give your troops to Galenos. And we'll have you sit on standby behind. Actually, no. We'll have you get back just across the bridge there. And we'll have you recruit some peltasts, some more hoplites. And we will also get these guys back and fortified. Athens, why couldn't you have positioned yourself a little bit closer to the city? That's okay. Let's experiment. Nah, nowhere close. That's fine. That is a-okay. Let's go hold this bridge. Can I get fortification still? No. Alright, that's fine. We'll back off Apollonia for now. We'll go focus Pella. I think if I bring that other force over, we'll be fine. Larissa, you're pretty much at full tilt. We're back, chat. Appreciate you guys hanging around while I was AFK. Had to run the dog outside. Had to use the bathroom myself. Okay, so it looks like our king has passed away. We went ahead and replaced him with Ioannis. He'll be running the show from now on. Looks like throughout that last turn, we were able to avoid an attack. Now, you may be wondering, why was I going so hard after Apollonia over here for so long? Well, it's only a matter of time before Rome comes over and starts trying to take over Greece. The Republic started that before Julius Caesar and any of that. So we are kind of on a time clock here, probably within the next, 5 or 10 turns, that we'll be looking at possibly a Roman invasion, and that's just gonna be a tough fight because Rome's got a lot more manpower than we do at the moment. Again, taking Pella, being able to do some of this stuff should be able to help us out a lot. Okay, so it looks like Acrotatus has got his troops ready. You are in range, so let's move you up as well. And let's move Acrotatus in. And this is where we have a successful deployment, boys. I'm not good at siege warfare. When it comes to Total War, fighting with walls, I am never good at my execution, so we're going to rely on the auto-resolve here. So we can survive this with 71% of our troops if we go ahead and attack in an aggressive stance. Let's go ahead and do that. Success is secured. The dog's name, where'd he go? He ran off. His name's Goose, like the bird. He had in his litter he had a sibling that was Maverick, so it was named after Goose from Top Gun. But I like to say the bird because that makes a little bit more sense for people, especially since I don't have Maverick. Maverick got adopted by another family. Okay, cool. Did we wipe out Macedon? We wiped out Macedon. Looks like Tylus, with their capital in Anthea, went ahead and took Popoluva from our Macedonian friends, we'll call them, since they are no more. It's now time to make our way back to Apollonia to finish the fight that we started there. All right. Looks like we don't have too much trouble for conquering Pella. We're going to lose 18 public order. Public order is the currency used to kind of gauge how accepting a populace is how they feel about their rule. We're gonna go for wealth from agriculture. Let's do it. We're working on getting our own traveler's lodge and through our research, but that's good. That gives us the ability to. Goose, you better not be on my bed with those wet paws. All right. Well, I may have to deal with that later. We will. Okay. So, conquered Pella. We are now 3 times larger than when we started. Big dubs. Big W's in the chat, boys. Big W's in the chat. We are. Let's go ahead and rush him just to stay in step with our other army here. They don't have much. Are they still hurting? They're still hurting in terms of their city garrison. They were able to get their cavalry back, able to get their mobs back. We will go ahead and upgrade the skirmisher cap in Apollonia. Wait, it only gives me skirmisher cavalry? No, it's not it's not worth the money. Okay. So these guys are here. Put those guys behind just so that way these guys don't get ambushed. Again, if we can take that, I think that's going to be a good stopping point for us. I've got a couple of things that we need to upgrade here. We want to focus zeal based. We're going to undeploy you. We're going to send you. Who do we want to you know who we can take food from? We can take food from Apollonia. Let's do that. We'll take food from Apollonia until we can conquer them. You go ahead and get a zeal upgrade. He's got some good stats off rip. Because you haven't fought any battles. But he's kicking butt, that's for sure. Let's organize some games. Let's go ahead and send you to Macedon. We'll get you a little bit more prestige. How are we looking in the realm of politics? They're still very happy with us. They're not so happy with the political actions. We'll go ahead and give Galenos a promotion for his assistance in the siege of Pella. We will then... Alright, cool. I think we'll run it from there. We've gone ahead and been able to recover our income a little bit. We're now making 860 a turn.
War! A man's calling is war, not we.
Of course. Of course the Galatian tribes want war. Odessos. What kind of army do you have, Brent, coming in? A decent sized one at that. Can we work on a war coordination target here?
The blessing of the Olympians upon you. What
Join
then
war
do
against
your noble
Epirus.
people desire?
You don't want it. And I don't really have anything else to offer you. Still don't have the ability for trade. Athens, I don't know. I want to keep Athens as an ally, but at the same time, the biggest problem is that I mean, I think I can get trade across this channel because it's a path. You think? So maybe once I take Apollonia, then I can get some trade going here, but we'll see. Okay. They emptied Apollonia. They might take Larissa. I've got this army coming in here. You don't have your garrison back yet. No. You need to stay there. You probably also need to go ahead and get a couple beefier hoplites just to have on standby. You guys need to take the city. Just continue the encirclement. I need to position you on this side of the city. Alright, Galenos, take the city. 77%. Don't have time to fight this one. Alright. We've got a whole province. That is good. This is so good. We want... We're good on food. Let's get an increased tax rate going here. Without actually raising the taxes. Just a little bit of a 15% boost. What have you got going? Okay, Larissa, you should have a decent garrison. They do. I mean, we got Spartan youths, we've got pikemen, we've got Periokoi pikemen, hoplites. We're looking good. You guys just honestly, okay, that's what we'll do. Boom. Send all those guys there. You get a promotion, which is understandable. But you're also a beefy guy in terms of base stats with no skill improvements. We're going to go ahead and merge all of you guys together. Go ahead and disband our low HP units to maximize our wealth. Get you promoted. Non-mercenary units, minus 4% upkeep. Yes, please. That's going to be key there. Alright, alright, alright. So, we will get you... Go ahead and rush. If they come back... If they come back to get us, that'll be pretty cash money. Can't afford to recruit 383. No. I'm not hiring mercenaries. They're just too expensive. But what I can do is position here. If they come back at me, that saves Larissa, and then I can come in and swoop them out with the army and probably still get them back in time to deal with those guys. Alright, let's run. Let's end the turn. We've now made official contact with Rome. Maybe we can negotiate them. Maybe we can negotiate them into a non-aggression pact, but I have a feeling they're going to probably break that once they realize our strength. With only having 2 full armies at the moment, might be a little problematic. What do we want to do here? We'll fight inside the city. 1219 versus 1283. We can auto-resolve for 67% chance. Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, we did more damage to their pikemen than I probably could have done by hand. And we'll release their captives, make them a little bit happier. Alright, Epirus makes a move.
There is a time when
You want a
warriors must
peace
sheathe the
treaty?
sword and talk for the good of their people.
Give me 1,200. Okay, maybe not 1,200. Give me 700.
Their spirits tell us that we should offer you gold.
I mean, that works for me. That doesn't really... Chat, does that make sense to you guys? The fact that they declared war on me, 2 turns later, they're suing for peace and offering me money when they're at my gates? They shit themselves when they got to my walls. That's crazy. That's crazy, chat. Okay. We'll fight this last battle here. They don't have too much. We've got some extra money here, so we will go ahead and get a couple, what do you guys got? Yeah, we'll just get a couple of hoplites. Can we get Cretan archers? No. All right, mercenary pal tests. It is. Nah, I don't want it. I don't want it. I do not. No, I don't want to fight. I don't want to fight with this army. These guys need to go ahead and get reinforced. I like that. I like that a lot. And we'll get a couple archers too. Now that we've got bowmen, we're cooking with it. Yeah. Oh, this will. Yeah. He's force move. He's force marching. So we should be able to come in here, ambush, auto resolve with 96%. Absolutely wipe out his 3 units. Bye bye Basilisk. And we'll get him right on out of here. Good work, good work, good work. We'll enslave the captives, champions of Olympus. Just go ahead and force march your way back to the city. You gotta make a run for Sparta. What are you gonna do in here, Chief? They're gonna try something, but we'll let them run rampant in our lands. But I think this is where we're gonna leave off this episode of our Total War campaign. So, if you guys are watching this video on YouTube, feel free to like, comment, subscribe down below. Appreciate you guys for watching the video all the way through to the end. We will be back live on Thursday, right around 4:30 is the time that I'm always shooting for. Appreciate you guys for watching. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe. If you enjoyed this video, go check out the premiere, the first episode. We have a little bit of surprise in there, and then we will be back to we'll be back at stream on Thursday. So feel free to follow me on Twitter. That way you know whenever I am going to be live, and we will go from there. So appreciate you guys. Have a good one, and I will catch you guys on Thursday. Bye.